Hello, vinyl community. How you doing? I'm Gary, and this is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. This is a special episode of Vinyl Finds. Now, some of you who are newer to the vinyl community might be saying, what's a vinyl find? Well, normally what that means is it's a record that you found out in the wild, right? Going through bins. Normally they're used records. That's what makes it kind of exciting. That's what makes it a find. You're able to find something out there and hopefully get a good price on it. Vinyl finds generally aren't like, hey, I ordered this off of Amazon or whatever. That's, that's a purchase. Vinyl finds are a little something different, little something special. One of the things that got me into the vinyl community. Now, first off, cheers to you, vinyl community. And an extra special cheers to my very good friend, Josh. You know him as JC from the flip side, the vinyl community with JC. Extra special cheers to him because he sent me a VCLT. Now, if you've watched any of my recent episodes, then you might have saw that he sent me this, which is fantastic. Filled a big hole that was in my collection. I'd never see it, but then he went even above and beyond that, and he found this, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Good Music. Now, this is an album of hers that came out in the 80s. I believe this was the first album that came out after that Light of Day movie that she put out. Now, this to me is a grail. I know a lot, we kind of use that word grail all the time. But to me, a grail is something that, I really want and I just have a hard time finding, okay? And that's why this is so special and why I'm so grateful to Josh for sending this to me, because I've never seen it in the wild. This is the first time I have seen this on vinyl, probably since it came out, right, back in the day. Check out this awesome looking picture of Joan at that time period. Pretty cool, pretty badass looking. Now, this is not my favorite Joan Jett record, but the reason why it's so special, like I said, because you can't find it. And this is just kind of a, I would say this probably to some Joan Jett fans is probably kind of like what Unmasked is to some Kiss fans. They don't like elements of it or whatever, the production. I think that's kind of like maybe this one. It has some poppy elements to it. She does a remake of Fun, Fun, Fun. And it does have a couple of corny songs on here. But I can't help it because the other songs on here are really good. I really like it. And the title track, Good Music, it's a feel-good song, and I think the message in it is exactly how you feel, how I feel. There's a line in there that says, I think that I would die without good music, right? I'm sure a lot of you feel that way. So happy. Thank you, Josh. You are the man. Really, really appreciate you finding this and sending it to me. He is one of the kings of vinyl finds because he can find all kinds of things. He has a special magic power. Part of it is Purchase Street Records. Now, okay, so that's a grail. Here's one, definitely not a grail for me. This is Astral Weeks by Van Morrison. Now, the outside of this doesn't necessarily look the best, but that record is in fantastic condition. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you've probably, maybe heard me refer to Van Morrison as a mean, fat drunk. Now, I don't have anything by Van Morrison, but everybody says this is like his best album and everything. I haven't got myself to listen to it yet, but once I listen to it, I'll say, well, is there anything redeeming to Van Morrison? Maybe I was wrong. Or maybe I'll say, if this is his best album, then he's crap. I don't know. We'll find out. Next one I found. Playing for Keeps by Eddie Money. Eddie Money, the man, the money man. This is a promo copy in fantastic shape. Definitely not his strongest album, but it's still Eddie Money, and the price was definitely right. How about this one from 81, I believe? UFO, The Wild, The Willing, and The Innocent. No big hits on this one either. This is during the Paul Chapman era. But, you know, Michael Schenker era is obviously the best. But I love the Paul Chapman era, too. And this was a great find. I actually have the album cover that's in better shape, and I have it hanging on my wall. But the record with it was like pure trash or something. So, but this is really a really nice copy of this. Love UFO. Just for fun, I got Live and Let Die, James Bond soundtrack. I don't know, this is like from 1973. Of course, Paul McCartney does the title track. George Martin does all the musical scores on this. I'm trying to get all of the James Bond soundtracks just because I've always, you know, grew up loving James Bond, and I just think it's cool having these soundtracks. So that's why I picked that one up. You know, maybe someday I'll find one in a little bit better shape, but this was very, very cheap. How about this? I upgraded. I had a copy of this, but it had a skip or two in it. Jeff Beck, the Jeff Beck Group, Rough and Ready. This is from the early 70s with, who's that guy there? Cozy Powell, right? So now this copy's in really good shape. So big upgrade from my other one. You know, it's funny, I was playing this and I thought my wife might like it because there's vocals on it. That's one of the things she doesn't like about Jeff Beck. There's never vocals. She still was not a fan of it. This is not for everybody. It's got some, a little bit of funk, a little bit of jazz elements in it, but I really dig it. I probably like it more than I did years ago. And then the final one, here's a really cool find. 18 by Jeff Beck and Johnny Depp. This is, of course, the last thing that Jeff Beck put out, him and Johnny Depp. I saw this tour, and I have it on CD. Of course, I got the CD when it came out, but I never got the vinyl because it was always expensive. But this is actually a used copy of this record, and it's got this cool-looking swirly gold vinyl. I don't know how well that's showing up there. It kind of looks like that War Greatest Hits 2.0, if you've ever seen that. The vinyl looks similar. This is a kind of an uneven album, I will say, but it definitely has some very, very cool moments on this album. So very happy to find a vinyl copy of that. Jeff Beck, one of the all-time greats. And I dig Johnny Depp, too. He does a good job on here. So there you go. Those are my vinyl finds. Once again, thank you, Josh, the man. By the way, when Josh says my main man, somebody, you know, yeah, I think he said that about me first. My main man, Gary, from Physical Format Rock and Roll. So when he says it about other people, you know, he's just joking. He means me. Anyway, thank you so much if you're still watching it. And until the next time, my friends, I will see you down the road.